Okay, guys. I know you're seeing me with only half of my makeup on, but we'll move past it. I'll get the other half done. We have been following Sara Boone motion hearing at what was supposed to be the start of her trial, which has been delayed a little bit more because of some motions that have been put in that they have to address. And boy, did they. They had a lot. And there is a new defense. There is a new story of what happened. A new plan for the defense as well. And we are going to be listening to the prosecution's admirable, professional, respectful way of having a massive mic drop moment and helping us to see and understand the process of what it is he does as a prosecutor. So take a listen to this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. They're on recess, so we'll be going back to the live. Well, we're not over. We are on the Tube of You live now as well, but they just can't hear me at the moment. If you guys want to join us there, it's Michelle's Criminal Musings. The link is in my profile.
Mr. Owens, Mr. Cacciatore, myself, and Dr. Werner all sat together within 5 feet of Sara Boone the first week of October and heard the final version. It's not very dissimilar from the version of Dr. Harper, but Dr. Werner's deposition was provided to the court previously for our motion in limine. I don't understand the position they're taking that they were forced to show their cards when Dave Cacciatore and myself and Mr. Owens and Dr. Werner were all there together to hear her version. And her version is, it was all fun and games, it was Sunday fun day. He gets into the suitcase, we're all laughing, I zip it shut, we're still laughing. There comes a point in time when he says, I can't breathe. This triggers her based on her past abuse, no overt act that day. And she begins violently doing the things to the suitcase that she says she did, whacking him with the baseball bat on his fingers. And now, after being the initial aggressor, now after having committed a forcible felony or two, now after having put Mr. Torres in a reasonable fear of death or great bodily harm, she says, well, she realizes now if he gets out after these things that I've done to him, I'm in big trouble. And it's my understanding that we have had this discussion and that if that is the proffered testimony, that that is not going to amount to an overt act, which will allow for reputation evidence, past incidents of violence, or the battered spouse syndrome evidence. They weren't forced to show their hand. I was there. The rules of criminal procedure allowed me and Mr. Cacciatore to be there and to witness this evaluation. Yep. So that being said, we're not abusing the system. We're not doing anything that we're not allowed to do, and we're making every effort to make sure that we understand how this trial is going to go down and how they, and Ms. Boone understands how the trial is going to go down, because my understanding of how it's going to go down is she's going to have to testify to the specific events of that day, and right up when she comes to the point to saying, and when he said, I can't breathe, the state attorney, Mr. J, is going to object. He's going to ask to approach. He's going to say, Judge, there's been no change in her testimony. Unless there is, then that's a whole different bag of worms. But if there's been no change in her testimony, Judge, we got a ruling prior to this that there's been no overt act testified to. Now we're going to object to her answer of because of the past violence, and we're going to object to any further attempt to bring in prior violence, reputation evidence, or battered spouse evidence. I just want everybody to be clear and on the same page about that. Now, in regards to their request, a renewed request for a statement of particulars, they've had the discovery for several years. This is the state's case. A video that starts at 11:12:45 p.m. on 2/23/2020. Sara, for everything you've done to me. Sara, for everything you've done to me. Sara, F you, laughter. Sara, F you, laughter. Sara, stupid. Sara, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Sara, I can't effing breathe, baby, seriously. Yeah, that's what you do when you choke me. Sara, 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 laughter. Sara, I can't breathe, babe. Laughter. That's on you. Sara, I can't breathe. Laughter. That's on you. Sara, unintelligible, drunken, slurred words. Laughter. Sara, 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 I can't breathe, baby. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me. Sara, F you. I can't effing breathe, Sara. You should probably shut the F up. Sara. Shh. That's our case. That is an evinced, depraved mind, conscious disregard for whether he lives or dies, whether she put him in there or not, she let him remain for 2 minutes during that video. And then at 11:23:03 p.m., there's another 22-second video, and it just zooms in on the suitcase. Sara. So that is a second-degree murder case when the medical examiner comes in and says, George Torres died from positional asphyxiation and the asphyxiation from being in a confined space, and eventually, after Lord knows how many breaths, he expired in that suitcase when she went upstairs and went to bed. But in addition to those statements, we now have her new statements, which are she intentionally violently shook the suitcase, threw it upside down, hit him with a bat, committed independent forcible felonies, and that's going to be corroborated by the medical examiner's testimony to all the blunt force trauma to both sides of his face and his mouth. That is a second-degree murder case. That is what we're going to be presenting. This is a portion of what I will be telling the jury this afternoon.